Good day, everyone. First and foremost, I am grateful for this opportunity to present my work. My name is Michelle. I am from SHUBP. I will be discussing resilience as reflected in Lynn Tan's Daughter of the Moon Goddess, a book inspired by the Chinese legend of the Moon Goddess. I will begin with an introduction to the background of the study. Then, I will present 3 objectives and problems that are important to the study. Second, I will talk about resilience definitions, factors, processes, and outcomes. Third, I will suggest a series of solutions to the problems and objectives in Chapter 1, where I look at stress factors, resilience factors, and resilience processes and outcomes in the book. Finally, I will conclude by summarizing the study. I will also give suggestions to future readers. What is resilience? Resilience refers to how human beings adapt to stress and adversity. Resilience theory originates from the study of vulnerability. It is also present in psychology and psychiatry. In an attempt to understand resilience, scientists have devised a possible measure of resilience. The Connor-Davidson Resilience Scale consists of 25 items, each rated on a 5-point scale, where higher scores reflect higher resilience. The scale was meant to be an attempt to quantify resilience through 5 factors. The importance of resilience theory is not to be underestimated. First, criticism and feedback are needed in order to better understand resilience. It allows researchers to check the validity of their work and prevent bias. Second, each person experiences resilience in different ways. It is a tool that encourages teamwork and acceptance within communities. Third, it is a way to learn from past mistakes. This way, we can make better decisions regardless of risk. Resilience is also needed to help teens and older adults to better deal with stress. Daughter of the Moon Goddess is a romantic fantasy by Malaysian author Lynn Tan. It is a story about Yin, the protagonist, and her quest to free her mother. The problems of this study are as follows. 1. How has the protagonist been influenced by internal and external stressors? 2. What resilience factors are present within the protagonist? 3. How has the protagonist become more resilient throughout the course of the narrative? Likewise, the objectives of the study are as follows. 1. To assess stress factors present within the novel. 2. To address resilience factors present within the protagonist as proven through her thoughts and decisions. 3. To assess the protagonist's development over the course of the story. We now move on to the literature review section. There has been a lot of disagreement on proper definition of resilience. Resilience, as operationally defined according to the Connor-Davidson Resilience Scale, is a measure of the competencies and capacities of people. According to Van Breda, 2018, resilience refers to the positive functioning in the face of adversity. It could also be argued that resilience may be mainly influenced by time. Therefore, it is possible to define resilience as a process that leads to an outcome. Next, the 5 factors of the Connor-Davidson Resilience Scale are as follows. 1. Personal competence in addition to high standards and tenacity. 2. Trust in one's instincts, tolerance of negative effect and strengthening effect of stress. 3. Positive acceptance of change and secure relationships. 4. Control, which denotes self-restraint and commitment. 5. Spiritual influences, such as faith and superstition. The protagonist will be assessed according to these factors. Resilience as a process refers to a period of change between adversity and outcome. Resilience, according to Theron, 2016, is the process of adjusting well to significant adversity, whereas according to Grotberg E., 1996, resilience is a universal capacity which allows a person, group, or community to prevent, minimize, or overcome the damaging effects of adversity. On the other hand, resilience is an outcome, referring to the state of being resilient. Bonanno, 2014, states that resilience is a stable trajectory of healthy functioning after a highly adverse event. Garmezi, 1991, argued that resilience is the maintenance of competent functioning, despite an interfering emotionality. Competent and healthy functioning means psychological wellness, the celebration of culture and cultural knowledge, and empowerment in the form of defiance. We move on to the analysis section. First, I will talk about stress factors. Change is a major theme of the book. Xingyan had been living peacefully with her mother before she was forced to flee her home in order to escape capture. She worked as an attendant along with 3 other co-workers in the Golden Lotus Mansion, all the while hiding her true identity. This is a quote from the book. "I have no family here," I said instead. A safe answer, though one which would earn me more of their contempt. I could already see it in the looks they exchanged. Now they knew I had no one to protect me. "How dull! Where did the steward find you? Off the street?" Jiai sniffed, turning away. One by one the rest followed suit, talking among themselves once more as gaily as a flock of birds. Xingyan was underestimated by her peers. In a mansion, a person is defined by their skills, connections, and social status. Without any connections to speak of, she was alienated and belittled even by her fellow attendants. Furthermore, Xingyan was motivated by peace. She wished to return to her mother, to live in peace without risk and adversity. All I ever wanted to do was to free my mother. I never intended any of this as a challenge. I just want to live here, in peace. In a hostile environment, it is important to remember and uphold your own values. Both Xingyan and her mother yearn for peace in times of hostility. Another important character is Li Wei. He is the crown prince of the Celestial Kingdom. Him and Xingyan developed a close friendship before becoming lovers. Despite this, their relationship was not free from adversity. He was angry when he discovered that Xingyan had lied to him about her identity. "I just never thought you would lie. You accepted my trust and never yielded me yours." Likewise, Xingyan believed that she was selfish. Though I wanted to deny it, there was truth in his words. I had been selfish, shuttering myself away, taking what he had to give. The first resilience factor is personal competence. When Xingyan was insulted by her co-workers in the Golden Lotus Mansion, she did not remain silent. Instead, she believed in herself. She fought back against prejudice. But something within me cried out in protest. No, they would not shame me. I would not pander or flatter to gain their friendship. I would rather be alone than have friends as these. And though I felt lesser than an insect in this moment, I raised my chin to meet their stares. Through her own efforts, she became the companion to the crown prince, and later on, the first archer of the celestial army. The second factor is the positive acceptance of change and secure relationships. Xingyan was motivated by her relationships. She trusted and loved her mother. However, her quest to free her mother was not easy. I had been terrified of getting hurt, of failure, and most of all of death, but not doing them frightened me more. She was afraid, but determined to overcome risk and adversity. She would learn to cherish and embrace her past as the daughter of her immortal mother and her mortal father. Additionally, she cherishes her friendship with Li Wei. "You are entwined in my life, whether we are together or not. I'll help you because I want to, not because I must. And there is no need for any accounting. What you owe to me, what I owe to you, such debts are meaningless between us." She respects him despite their differences, and he respected her too. In this way, Both Xingyan and Li Wei are resilient. They are willing to do whatever it takes to defend each other. She even saved him in the Eternal Spring Forest, which earned her the Crimson Lion Talisman, the key to her mother's freedom. The third factor is spirituality. Xingyan trusted and respected the dragons immensely. After obtaining the talisman, the emperor tasked her to retrieve the pearls from the 4 venerable dragons. However, the dragons did not want to hand over their pearls to him. Despite her mission, Xingyan promised the venerable dragons that she would return their pearls. The fourth factor is trust in one's instincts. Wenci, the captain of the Celestial Army, believed that the dragons would deceive her. However, Xingyan did not follow his advice. She followed her own intuition. I should have heeded Wenci's advice, but my instincts guided me down a different path. I believed the Long Dragon would not deceive me. How could I hope to gain its trust if I hesitated to heal mine? The fifth and final factor is control and self-restraint. After meeting the dragons, Wenci was revealed to have been a major antagonist all along. He was the second prince of the demon realm. When Xingyan was imprisoned in the demon realm, she was offered a chance to flee at the cost of Wenci's life. She refused the offer. I couldn't let him, because not even my worst enemy deserves to be killed that way. It would not have been honorable. Even when faced with temptation, she held on to her morals and the values of honor and integrity. The next 2 quotes are a proof of resilience as a process. I struggled to breathe, my chest heaving like a fish flipped out of the water. I had thought our life so peaceful, so safe from all the dangers in my books. To learn that we had incurred the wrath of the most powerful immortals in the realm shook me to my core. She had been afraid of the wrath of their celestial majesties. The empress had threatened her mother. After all, she was the reason why Xingyan left her home. I should have apologized or pleaded for forgiveness, but though my body was taut with tension, my lips stayed tightly sealed. I was no longer a cowering child afraid of her shadow. On page 94, an important change is observed. The Celestial Empress no longer scared her. Later on in her journey, her interactions with the Empress and their celestial majesties would play a very significant role in the progression of the story, where Xingyan would come to terms with her final task to free her mother. Resilience as an outcome is a result of resilience as a process. In the beginning, Xingyan has struggled through war and prejudice. In the end, Xingyan won her mother's freedom through her own merit. On the surface, my life had come full circle, yet no longer did I have to hide in the shadows, burying my past and fearing for my future. Never again would I conceal who I was and the names of my father and mother. She lived peacefully once more with her mother. Now, she is able to openly accept her identity as the daughter of the moon goddess. This is the final section. Here, I will talk about the conclusions and suggestions. All conclusions are taken from the analysis section. Firstly, I conclude that stress factors come from change. Therefore, change is a test of a person's competence and resilience. Secondly, all 5 resilience factors of the Connor-Davidson resilience scale are found within the protagonist as shown through her thoughts and actions. Lastly, the protagonist learns and develops through resilience processes, which leads to an outcome. Here are my suggestions for future readers. It is advisable to familiarize yourself with Chinese folklore. There is already plenty of context in the book regarding Chang'e, the moon goddess. Nevertheless, it is important to have prior knowledge. It is also advisable to familiarize yourself with other adaptations of Chinese folklore, even in other media such as music. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Have a nice day. Goodbye.